We have already seen White Revolution, which was also called as Operation Flood, which led to the increase in the production of milk. Now, the concept of White Revolution 2.0 is in the news. So we will see what is this White Revolution 2.0, what things does it include, how is it different from the earlier version, and what are the targets, what is the objective, why are we coming up with White Revolution 2.0, so on and so forth. So let's get started. It's on the similar lines. For example, you had Industrial Revolution, then Industrial Revolution 2.0, 3, 4, so on and so forth. So Industrial Revolution started with just small minor technological advancement which increased the production, and now here we are in the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. Now, with respect to White Revolution, this is just going to be the second version of it. So we'll see how it is and what it is. So what is the news about it? The Ministry of Cooperation. Now, this is a very recent ministry. This ministry came into existence only in 2021. Before this, it was non-existent. So what is the purpose or objective of coming up with this ministry is to ensure that there is cooperation, coordination among the cooperatives and further development of the cooperative organizations. So specifically focused on that. And White Revolution, the Operation Flood, the first White Revolution was also successful with the help of the milk producing cooperative organization, Amul being one such organization. Okay. So the Ministry of Cooperation have unveiled the standard operating procedure, the SOP, step-by-step guide, you can say. That is what an SOP is, a standard operating procedure for White Revolution 2.0. Now, what is the purpose or this SOP? It is aimed at empowering women farmers and creating job opportunities. Empowering women farmers and creating job opportunities, its focus is on that. Of course, this will be done. Why? Because we would be looking for increasing the production of milk. When the production of milk increases, what will happen? Of course, if we are looking to increase the production of milk, of course, job opportunities would increase, right? So job opportunities would increase for everyone. At the same time, since labor force participation of female is lesser, so for female it would have been lesser, but the focus would be more, so that for females there is higher job creation. That's point number one. Point number two, when it comes to milk producing cooperatives, this is such area wherein the female labor force participation is higher than the average female labor force participation of the country. That means what? That means that if you focus on this sector, this particular field, and you just, without putting any emphasis, if you just increase the production, so jobs will increase. So automatically more and more females are going to get job because their share in this sector is higher than the share in average in the Indian economy. Along with that, there will be special emphasis for female job creation, which will lead to empowering the women farmers. So that is the concept ideology behind this White Revolution 2.0. The primary objective, of course, would be for milk production, but this is being kept in mind. So what are the key facts? Increase the milk production along with empowerment of women and fight against malnutrition. This is also important. So see, milk is still in India we have been talking about food security, but it is high time for us to now talk about nutritional security to avoid malnutrition. So if milk is produced more and more people can get easier and cheaper access to milk, more people will have more milk, which will help fight the malnutrition as well. So what is the target? The target is that the cooperatives are projected to procure 100 million kilograms of milk daily by the 5th year of the initiative. So by the 5th year, not immediately, it's not going to happen. It is going to take 5 years. That is the target set, timeline set is 5 years for procuring 100 million kilograms of milk. Right. Now, this particular increase is kept in mind, or the target is set keeping in mind the increase in the procurement by the cooperatives. Presently, they procure 660 lakh liters per day. The target is 1,000 lakh, means 1 crore liters per day. Per day. That is the target. So not doubling, but let's say you can say 66. So increase by around 55%. Increase by around 55%. So we are going to increase the production, the procurement by 55% in the next 5 years. So it's a good growth rate of 7, around 7%. What other thing? Margdarshika. These SOP which have been unveiled are known as Margdarshika. As I said, guidelines. So the Hindi word for guideline is actually Margdarshika, a book which guides you, a guide. That is the translation. Margdarshika, a guide which, a book that guides you. Okay, it has been launched, okay, from 2 lakh new multi-purpose primary agricultural cooperatives. So from various centers, this book has also been launched. Of course, it will foster the cooperatives. Of course, it will foster the, basically ground root development, empowering women. All these things are the basic things mentioned over here. It is prepared by this SOP that we are talking about is prepared by the ministry in consideration, Ministry of Cooperative, in collaboration with NABARD. NABARD is what? It is a refinancing bank, right, in the agricultural sector. So agriculture, this dairy activity is an agriculture and related activity. So it is an institute which will provide loans, provide money for this particular sector. So in collaboration with NABARD and National Dairy Development Board, the Ministry of Cooperation has unveiled this particular SOP. Now, here we saw women empowerment is one thing. Now, maximum women are engaged in the dairy sector, generating business worth 60,000 crore. So there is a high involvement of women over here. See, why this is 60,000 crore alone in Gujarat. Now, why high involvement of women? See, when you are doing farming, along with farming, the farmers do certain allied activities, related activities, dairy being one such activity. Now what happens is, generally you are plowing the field. It's not to say that females do not, even they do. In fact, the female laborers are also in high percentage when it comes to agriculture farm laborers. But at the same time, in addition to doing that, they are the one who take care of the buffaloes, cows, etc., milch animals, and milking those animals, and themselves utilizing the goods out of it, the products, the healthy, nutritious products for themselves, and also selling to generate some amount of income. And this income is so important, because this is an assured income. This is actually more assured. The certainty is more than the agricultural income. Agriculture is dependent upon the rain vagaries. Whether rain happens, it floods, it is drought, so on and so forth. Still almost 50% is non-irrigated area. Even the areas that are irrigated, the groundwater table is going down. So there are certain issues. There are a lot of uncertainties, but with the help of dairy and dairy products, it becomes an assured income from them, for them. That is why it is so important. Okay. Now, this is a trend which we are seeing with respect to a lot of schemes. So here also, what the government is trying to do, the government is trying to integrate this White Revolution 2.0 and the schemes that are being brought under this with various other schemes as well, to come up with a synergy. Synergy means what? Synergy is a concept wherein 1 + 1 will be greater than 2. So in working in collaboration, different ministries, different schemes would give more output than they would have given independently. So these schemes and their involvement is now getting integrated. Okay, so what is the integration over here? The National Dairy Development Program was there in it, so that would be changing to a newer version depending upon what guidelines are present in this. At the same time, expansion of cooperation among cooperatives. This is a new initiative. So cooperatives are there. Now if there are two cooperatives, they are selling the same product, there is a chance of there is a competition, of course. There is a chance of antagonism. So instead of that, the government wants to facilitate cooperation among the cooperatives, and that can actually really help. That can actually really help, because see, cooperatives, Amul went on to become a very huge cooperative and then a huge business altogether. So that's a different thing. All cooperatives would not be of that size. They would be small, using small machinery, small tools and tackles, low on technology, etc. But some cooperative may be good at certain things. Maybe their logistics is better developed. Maybe some cooperatives technology is better developed. So the sharing of not just the resources, but more importantly, the ideas, etc., could actually help or benefit all the cooperatives in general. That is why looking for cooperation among the cooperative. Right. Now, the government would also come up with providing farmers access to interest-free cash credit via the RuPay card, RuPay Kisan Credit Card, which, you know, Kisan Credit Card scheme is there. So they have linked it with what? Kisan Credit Card scheme. So through that Kisan Credit Card, you can get interest-free cash for this dairy development. And at the same time, distribution of micro ATMs to bring financial services to rural areas. Now you have the card, but if there is no ATM, how will you get out the money? So you again have to travel to the branch. So that is a problem. To address that, micro ATMs would be brought in. Have you seen micro ATMs? Micro ATMs, see, ATMs generally what happens, it is a standalone component. There is a small place, you go inside, there is an ATM, there is a proper place to be required. Now, what is happening if there is a general store? Near the general store, inside the general store or just next to it, a small ATM would be there. Just like telephone booths used to be there, not booths, just like telephone used to be kept there in front of, just next to the general store. So what they will take? They will take just this much of space. So that kind of ATM is now will be made prevalent, that is micro ATMs. It will not require a separate place, it will not require extra money, or else even this amount of place requires some rent or requires the land to be owned, which is costly. This would not be that costly. So not that costly, and moreover could be spread more because the cost is also less, so easier to do that. So this concept is also being brought in by the government. What is the current status of production of milk? India is the topmost producer. Simple as that. World's top milk producer, production of 231 million tons. We are here now, we were just at 17 million tons in 1951-52. So we have grown more than 10 times. Okay. At the same time, if you look at few states, they are major milk producing state. So if you look at Uttar Pradesh, it's the topmost, then Rajasthan, then Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Andhra Pradesh. Now these states, UP, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh with 8.73, Gujarat and Andhra Pradesh together constitute, these just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, just 6 states of India constitute more than half of the milk production. At the same time, availability is around 459 grams per day, which is higher than the global average. So global per capita availability of milk is around 323. In India, the per capita availability is 459 grams. However, there is a lot of unevenness. If you see, in Maharashtra, it's just 329 per gram per capita, 329 gram per capita, and in Punjab, it is over 1 liter. It is 1.2 liters. 1283 grams per capita in Punjab. At the same time, see, when milk is produced from milk, you make butter, you make ghee, this cream, so on and so forth. So this entire sector contributes approximately 40% of the total output value from agriculture, livestock, forestry and fishing sectors. So this is one important sector that we are talking about. Now, what is the need for White Revolution 2.0? The very important thing, to increase milk productivity. See, we are talking about productivity. Of course, we want to increase production, but not in a manner that if one person or one cooperative is leading to, or let's say if you invest 1 unit of money, it gives to 10 unit of milk. So if you invest 10 unit of money, it will give you 100 unit of milk. We don't want this kind of increase. What we want is, from this to this increase we want the increase in the efficiency. That is why the term productivity is used. So in your answer also use the term productivity, not just production. So what this productivity increase means, if 1 unit is giving rise to 10, then of course you can make it 10 unit, but 10 units should not just give 100, it should be giving us, let's say, 150. So production has also increased and productivity has also increased. That's point number one. Point number two, there has been a trend wherein there was a decline in the growth of milk production. So growth of milk production was growing, but was growing at a declining rate. So for example, if previous year it grew by 6%, next year by 5%, then by 4%. So we want to reverse this. We want the milk production to grow with an increasing growth rate. So reversing the decline in annual growth rate of milk production. Then formalization of milk consumption pattern. It majorly these cooperatives, etc., more than 60%, more than around 2/3, close to 2/3, I think 63% to be exact, they are in the unorganized sector. They need to be brought in the organized sector. At the same time, it needs to be linked with food processing units, so on and so forth, to add more value, which will give us more and more products, better utilization, more efficiency, and more income to the farmer as well. Okay. Further, the milk expenditure is per person around 314 rupees. It has surpassed the expenditure on food items like vegetables, cereals, and eggs. Same is the case in urban areas, 466, higher than some of the other food products. So also, so this purpose is over here is to bring down the price of the milk. Not to ask people to spend less. No, milk is a good thing, nutritious thing. It will address malnutrition, but the price has increased from 42 rupees to 60 rupees per liter. And that has to be brought down. When efficiency increases, production increases, the price is going to come down. Right. Now, how to increase the milk production and the productivity? The very first thing is genetic improvement. Introduction of sex-sorted semen. What is this concept of sex-sorted semen? So when, let's say a cow or a buffalo give a birth to a young one, that young one, with the help of sex-sorted semen, what they can do is they can ensure that that young one is a female calf. That the young one is a female calf, so that more and more increase in the female calf birth and more milk could be then produced. Right. So this is what sex-sorted semen is there. It allows for the production of offspring of a particular desired sex. Example, only female calves to give more milk. So this is one concept that is being used. Second is embryo transfer technology to enhance the productivity of high genetic merit cows. So producing more and more milk. So per cow milk also can be increased with the help of these technologies. Okay. Now, so what will happen? Sex selection, female calves, at the same time the one single milk animal giving more milk, at the same time one single animal giving birth to more female calf. All these are the solutions or the way forward mentioned over here. At the same time, milk production can be further increased from a particular animal by providing them with good quality fodder. And Amul has come up with a total mixed ration plant in Gujarat, which will provide the proper fodder, which will consist of maize, jawar, oat, grass for animals, etc., etc., a nutritional diet to give better milk production. I hope these things are pretty clear. So improved diet quality is also very important, and specific feed additives can directly inhibit. This is one important point. If an answer comes in mains, in prelims you should remember, in mains you should write it. See, the cattle lead to a huge amount of methane production as well. So there can be certain additives that are being talked about in the fodder which can reduce or which can inhibit the microbes that are responsible for methane production. So if a unit of cattle, let's say, or unit what, one number, let's say if one cattle give rise to X amount of methane, that is CH4, because of this it will reduce to, let's say, 0.7x of methane because of this additive in the fodder. So this would also help address the greenhouse gas emission of methane. right? So this is all about the White Revolution 2.0. You should remember that it is from the Ministry of Cooperatives, and the SOP released by Ministry of Cooperative in collaboration with the Dairy Development Board, right? At the same time, NABARD. So all those factual and other factual things you should remember. For mains, you should know what are the objectives, why it is being done, what are the features of it, and how it is going to impact, how the productivity is going to be increased, and one important point with respect to addressing the greenhouse gas emissions as well. Thank you so much.